Johnny here. Here's Liquid Today number 133. This is a Neoclassical picking fest, and as usual I'm going to play it once slowly and then break it down. And during the breakdown I'm going to share some practice advice you can apply to this lick and pretty much anything else you're working on. We start here on the 16th fret of the high E string. Right, so we're gonna start here with this G sharp diminished arpeggio, and that's basically built from the 7th scale degree in the harmonic minor scale. And the difference between a harmonic minor scale and a natural minor scale is that we have that 7th natural 7th degree. So we start with harmonic minor here, but the rest of the lick is actually going to be natural minor. And this might seem weird for some of you, but if you look at classical music, neoclassical music, there's usually a mix between harmonic minor, natural minor, and melodic minor. So usually minor is a broader term. And that's not necessarily the same for all styles of music, but you see this a lot in classical music. Especially the melodic minor, for example. If you look up the melodic minor in traditional harmony, you will see that the ascending version of a melodic minor scale would be 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. But the descending version of the same scale is like a natural minor scale. So you go down the flat 7, flat 6, 5, 4, flat 3, 2, 1. And I remember reading that and it didn't make any sense at all to me. It's like, why in the world would you do that? But it has to do how the melodies or the scale notes lead. So when you go up, it's a very natural flowing arc upwards in the melodic minor, which you don't really get in the harmonic minor because you have this weird, this kind of an awkward interval. So they decided to take the flat 6 up to a natural 6, and you already had the natural 7, so then you get this, that type of scale. But when you go down melodically, this note wants to lead up again. But if you go, it leads much stronger back to the 5, and then from 5 just goes back down to the root again. So it has all to do with the natural progression of these scale degrees. So if I just play that again, so I'm going to go up to melodic minor. You can even hear it, this sounds like a melody. So you hear this a lot in Bach's music and everything after that pretty much. So I didn't intend this to be a music history lesson, but if you ever get confused why you can mix up natural minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor, that's the reason. It's depending on the context, and minor is usually a bit freer in that regard. Anyway, we go back here to the diminished chord. So we have a G sharp diminished chord here. So we have 16, 13, and 15. And the picking sequence here is going to be an upstroke, pull off, down, down, and then upstroke, pull off. So we get a 6-note pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's super easy. Just move it down so you have your pinky where you have your index finger. So in exactly the same pattern. Do that again, and once more. And this is because a diminished 7th arpeggio is a symmetrical arpeggio, meaning that there's an equal distance between all notes. In this case, it's a minor third between each. But that's really helpful in this case because you can just learn it way faster. Even though we're not even playing the complete arpeggio here, it still gets that effect because we're, at this point, we're actually playing all the notes. So yeah, so that's the first part. And it's 6 notes per beat. And after this arpeggio, this is the 7, 4, 6. we go into this ascending groups of 4 Yngwie sequence on a single string. It's a very long sentence to say. And we do that 3 times, and 3 times 4 is 12, and that's, you can divide that by 6, so it's basically 2 beats of 16-note triplets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Because the whole thing is notated in 16-note triplets. So, and basically this sequence, if you're not familiar with it, so we have a 5, 7, 8 here. If you think of the notes from left to right, 1, 2, 3, the sequence will be 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you just move that up to 7, 8, 10. Do the same thing, and then 8, 10, 12. Then you end up here on the flat 6 on the 13th fret. And as far as practicing this, basically this thing, I would do that chromatically, the arpeggio thing. So just sit there and do. And try to get the same sound or the same dynamics for the picking and the legato. So that helps a lot. And for the picking sequence, you can do just 2 positions at a time. And really focus on getting that position shift to be as silent as possible. What I mean by that is you really want to hear only the note. You want to minimize the sliding sound. It's quite tricky to do, especially down here when it's quite far, the whole step. But if you move quickly as you practice it slowly, it might sound weird, but you basically make sure that you have a quick motion to the next position that will minimize the actual fret noise. Whoops. And then you do that between these 2 as well. And you can even do it here. And go through all of them, and then combine 3, and then do the whole thing. And I highly suggest you do this on all strings as well. So it's a really good thing to practice. But moving on, now after this section, we have this descending groups of 6. And then do that again. So basically 12 notes going down. So we have 13, 12, 10, 13, 12, 10, 12, 10, 9, 12, 10, 9. This is confusing. You have a link to the tabs in the description below. And then we shift up with the index finger and go up 10, 12, 14 on both the D and the G string. And then you have 12, 13, 15 on B and E. And then finally we end up on the A here, on the 17th fret. So and practicing this, I would make sure that you can get this going, meaning going from 2 strings here into the first note of the next string. Covered that in yesterday's Paul Gilbert style video. It's just the other direction, because that's the tricky part. And then you can divide basically have everything into 2 groups of 6 notes like that. And also just do the mechanical practice. In this case, we go down with my 1, 2, 3 fingering. And then you shift, you go up a fret and go up with 1, 2, 3. And you can do the same thing with 1, 2, 4. One, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I generally do it twice with each fingering though. And you can also do something that I did for a long time, where I would just take, 1, 2, 3, start down here. go up all the way up with just that fingering, then do the same thing 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So doing them in the same position one after another, that's just a thing I've started doing lately. Well, not that lately, I mean, it's been a few years, but I think why I like doing that is because I have to be more engaged when I practice. Because when you have this, the same fingering just going up and down, it's kind of easy to zone out when you practice, which sometimes is good because it can be incredibly boring to work on this stuff, even though it's necessary, I feel, if you want to, really improve your picking technique. So both ways works. I'm not trying to say that you have to do it, do 2 reps and then switch it up. You can do whatever fingering you want all over the fretboard first if you prefer doing it that way. All right, so once we reach the 17th fret, you should be on a downstroke if you follow the picking directions that I use. You don't have to do that, but if you do that, you should end up with a downstroke here on the beat. And now we just descend this A minor 5-string arpeggio. It just happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So you should end up on the beat here as well. So, and this is a really good thing to practice, just that part. Just move it up and down the fretboard here, and then you can extend that if you want, so you start adding some more picking. Alright, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, just post them below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next one.